In this video, we're going to talk about how to remove a charge-off off of your credit report. Believe it or not, you can remove a charge-off off your credit reports before the 7-year statute of limitation. I'm going to break down exactly what the Fair Credit Reporting Act requires of a charge-off being reported on credit report. And if any of this information is either inaccurate, incomplete, unverifiable, they must remove the entire charge-off off of the credit report. Now, the first thing that we need to do if we want to get a charge off removed off of our credit reports is we have to gather all of the information to be able to know what they're saying about the charge off on the credit report. Here in this illustration here, I got a charge off account from credit reports, and you can see here they made payments and then they went 30 days late, 90 days, then 120. And then the account ended up getting charged off. Now, you might be saying, well, what does this mean here? I don't know what that means, but the account was charged off. So now you can see here, it's going to say the type of account. It's going to state what happened to it. They terminate the account status, derogatory, and it's going to show zero balance, high credit here, this information here, which would have been the credit limit. And then the reason why it would usually be higher is because when it went into charge-off status, they started adding fees and all type of stuff on there. Then it's going to talk about the past due amount. This is all important information when it gets down to what I'm going to be talking about in a second. But I want you to be able to see it on how it looks on a credit reports, on complete credit reports. And then it's going to have the last reported date. That's very important. And then it's going to have the comments if it's charged off as bad debt, canceled by grantor. It could be said that it was transferred, sold, assigned. That information is. So now, the things that you need to keep in mind, what we look for at the credit repair shop to be able to get a charge off removed off of an individual's credit reports is we look for inaccurate charge off dates. So you want to look for the date of the first delinquency. If that's wrong, that information is inaccurate, and it could also be a violation if you're at the 7-year time frame, the timeline, because they would be reporting information that's past the legal statute of limitations to even have it reported on your credit reports. But let's just back up and let's just say that the information is showing inaccurate with the delinquency date. So right here it says last reported. If that date is not right, so you got the last active date, and then you look at when that account went bad. So if we look at this one here, we got the last payment that was made would have been September 2015. From that date, the last payment, this is when the statute of limitations starts, right here, because that was the last payment date. All of this stuff here goes towards the clock ticking for the statute of limitations, but you can actually get that information removed if they did not report that accurately on the credit report. So if it's stated right here, last active date, and it said October 2015, you would be able to get that information removed. You can also see here it says date of last payment, and they have something that it is showing inaccurate right here. This could get this removed off of this credit report just by this. To prove it, look at what it states right here. Now, don't ask me why, when the furnisher who is furnishing the information, why would they furnish it inaccurately on one report and not inaccurately on the other report? I don't know. I'm not in their internal data processing center and all of that stuff, but that happens. And this is something that I've talked about from day one with the credit repair shop, is that what one credit bureau does has no implication on what the other credit bureau is going to do. So it could be accurate on one, inaccurate on the other, and you can show them that it's not accurate and they won't do anything about it. Just like with this person right here, won't do anything about it. I'm going to tell you what you can do about it, but I'm just showing you that when it comes to disputing, you can't just sit there and try to dispute with the bureau. So now, the next thing is double reporting. A single debt should not appear twice. Check if the creditor is reporting it as a charge-off and the debt buyer is also reporting it as a collection. They cannot do that. It must be a zero balance. They can report it as a charge-off, but if they sold it to a debt collector, it would be required that they would state right here in the comments that it was sold to a debt collector. Because if you're going for a loan, let's just say that you're going for a loan, and you wanted to just go ahead and settle it with the debt collector who purchased the debt, and they did not put the information on here accurately, number one, you would be able to get it removed, but number two, the algorithm would read it improperly as an account with the original creditor, that you would actually have two accounts showing for the same alleged debt. Even though the amount on here would be different, they would still show as an open account. Even though it says charged off bad debt, I'm here to tell you from my experience, it would show when they read it. And remember, it's just AI reading all of this stuff, not humans. It would state that you have two open accounts, and those would be the same debt. The next thing is the balance after cancellation. So now, let's just say that you got debt forgiveness, or you settled with the original creditor for less. They're going to send you a 1099-C, and the balance should be reported zero on there. If they still had a balance on there even after you settled the debt, or they did debt forgiveness, that would be a violation by keeping that information on your credit reports. Lack of dispute status. If you dispute the information on there for whatever reason, they have to put in your comments that this account is being disputed. If they do not put that as being disputed, then they are in violation. Who's in violation? The furnisher is in violation. If you're disputing the information, it must be marked on there that it is being. The next thing is misreporting payment history. You can look at, that's why I always tell people, get your complete reports, because you can look at this misrepresenting complete payment history. When furnishers are creditors, when they place information on your credit reports, it must be 100% accurate. If it's not 100% accurate, you could get it removed. Even though this account was a charge-off, you could actually dispute that this creditor was in violation by not reporting all of your payment history. And that could either get them to update that status where they would fill in this date. Just imagine, what would the algorithm read if they just filled in that date? What would the algorithm read? It could actually make your credit score go up, because part of your credit score is your payment history. Even though this account went into charge-off, collection status, you still have payment history. And that's one of the things that some people get upset with during their credit repair process, is if a charge-off is removed, they're not going to say, well, Steve, you made all of these good payments, but we're going to remove this charge-off information and all this history. Your credit score will go down because you did have good payment history. So that is like the exchange that you're going to have to make to be able to get that charge-off removed. You're going to have that dip in your credit score, because that information is going to be removed, the payment history information. Now, another thing that you need to keep in mind is that, let's just say, for instance, your charge-off was discharged in a bankruptcy. I've seen this happen before. All of that information can be removed. The first thing is that they have to report zero balances. And then the next step would be to get the information removed, because you actually had all of that debt discharged. So you can have that information removed. You can use the court document to get that information removed, and they will remove it, but it is going to be a process. Some other things that I want you to keep your eyes on when we're looking at these charge-off accounts is, you want to make sure that if it's sold to a debt collector, that the debt collector didn't try to do anything to re-age the account to allow that time period to extend past that 7-year statute. And if the debt collector buys the debt, you know what you got to do, if you've been watching my videos, is you need to make them go through a debt validation process to see if they can even put the information on your credit reports. That's why it's very important to just, like, step one of the whole process of getting a charge off removed off your credit reports or a collection removed off your credit reports is to know exactly how the furnisher, which could be the original creditor or a debt collector, has placed that information on your credit reports. So if you need help with your credit, you want to get these charge-offs removed off your credit reports, and you don't feel like you want to put in the work to do it, we are here to help you. You can visit thecreditrepairshop.com, watch video What Makes Us Different, where I will show you my 8-point validation process, my two-phase settlement process. If you need your credit reports and scores, because that's where all of this information is going to be, so you can determine what's inaccurate, what you want to challenge, what you believe is unfair and inaccurate that the furnisher has placed on your credit reports. Go to www.your3scores.com to grab your TransUnion, Equifax, Experian, credit reports, and all 3 scores. If you have debt collectors coming after you, you can go to summonsmaster.com to create an exclusive certified debt validation letter, and the responses from there will help you get started on getting the information removed off your credit reports, because debt collectors, when they purchase debt, there is a requirement that they must abide by to be able to come after you for that debt. Or you can grab my 3-pack of letters below. The link is below here, absolutely free. I do ask for a donation on those because it can help you save you time, money, and frustration. If you're being sued by debt collectors, go to summonsmaster.com, where you can get a response to every allegation and a defense to help you win your case with original creditors and debt collectors. Thank you for your time. Subscribe to the channel. Post your questions and comments. It's Stephen A. Williams, President and Founder of thecreditrepairshop.com.